combined with the store. And this is omnichannel. The big question is, how do shopping center owners who are only invested in the brick and mortar real estate view this trend? Are they losing sales? Could this channel neutral retailing undermine the demand for lease space or cut the percentage rent of the landlords and the value of their property? The answer is yes, but it's also no. The industry is living up to the principle that what is good for the retailer is also good for the landlord. With omnichannel retailing, real estate will often be a part of the picture, as customers can order online and pick up their products at the store, like at Best Buy, Sears, and other online and retailers. This will maintain traffic to the shopping centers and help drive traffic to the area tenants. It will actually increase the customer experience for the experience and the overall sales of the tenant. Although this technology continues to change, it is always important to track its effects on retail and the future of the brick and mortar world. Early this year, California was one of the main states that passed legislation requiring online retailers to charge a sales tax to consumers. This is specifically targeted at Amazon. So we now have a brick and mortar retailer focused on selling online, like Best Buy, Target, Walmart, and they are all downsizing their stores. But now we have an online retailer, like Amazon, that's focused on opening fulfillment centers and retail stores. Amazon is currently opening distribution centers in a couple states, almost 1 million square feet in size. And they're also opening fulfillment centers and putting lockers in 7-Elevens where consumers can order online and get their products the same day. And they are being charged the tax that they were fighting for so long, but the honey badger doesn't care. But you should, because the honey badger don't care, but he will change the industry. He will do things different, and it will affect all of us. Back to the basics. The retail real estate market is now slowly approaching recovery that will most likely be more moderate than the recent cycles. Although none of the key drivers of retail, such as job growth, personal income, housing values, and the consumer confidence are likely to grow above the trend in recent years, historically, the state of Oregon also lags behind the national trend. It's almost like Y2K all over again, with the pending fiscal cliff grabbing more than its share of the headlines. It's obvious that tax increases and spending cuts that are scheduled to take effect in early 2013, as of yesterday's news, isn't going to happen, or may happen. These are easily capable of undermining recovery and throwing the U.S. into another recession. With that said, there are winners and there are losers in the retail industry. The following list came out a couple weeks ago, listing retailers with the highest sales per square foot. I used an app on my iPhone to measure this property, this space, when I got here this morning. It's about 17,000 square feet. If we had this event every day for the rest of the year, we would be ranked 9th or 10th on this chart at $1,127,000 per square foot. Right there, number 9, the Iron Store. And somebody may be getting percentage rent on that. Probably the bankers. As a commercial real estate broker focusing in retail, I frequently work with brokers in neighboring states, as I currently need to work with brokers in neighboring states to get their tenants to come to Oregon and work with them to bring Oregon tenants to their states. It's important to closely follow the entire Western Division, which consists of Washington, California, Oregon, Colorado, and the West, because what they do in their states definitely affects us. The markets in Northern California have continued to recover. Core Bay area markets are generally seeing higher tenant demand and limited space availability, putting an upward pressure on rents. Sacramento and the Central Valley are experiencing recovery in some submarkets, while others still lag. It's also true for the central and southern California. I think we can all agree that there's always more demand the closer you get to the beach, unless you're in Oregon. Probably the biggest news in California regarding real estate is the sales tax being charged to Amazon. Since Oregon doesn't have a sales tax, it's going to be an interesting trend to see how that affects us when other states do this to Amazon. Utah and Idaho are opposed to see consistent improvement in growth, just not as high as the recent past. Portland area developer CenterCal, who developed Bridgeport, Cascade, and other properties here in Oregon, is developing Station Park in Farmington, Utah, which has opened and has additional phases under construction. CenterCal's Village of Meridian development is also underway in Boise, Idaho. The national economic volatility will continue to impact these states, both the quality of living in these states and opportunities, and the lower than national average unemployment, the emerging strength of energy-related products, Utah and Idaho will help outperform other trade areas of the country, and it should spill over to our Oregon economy. Our most important neighbor is Washington. Oregon State, the Beavers, they know Washington will take them out of the runnings for the BCS. While Amazon has been viewed as a threat to retail real estate the globe in Washington, Amazon's ascension is to one of America's best top companies. They are placing nearly 23,000 high-paid jobs in downtown Seattle and filling up 3.4 billion square feet of new high-rise buildings. As Washington continues to be ranked as having one of the top economies in the country, Oregon should benefit from this, as the liquor laws over in Washington send them to Oregon. Oregon should benefit as retailers expand in the Seattle area, and they will expand here later. We saw this with Seattle getting the first urban Target, followed by the Galleria in Portland getting the next urban Target in the Northwest. Microsoft is also a big tenant in the Northwest. They have many stores up in Seattle and may soon have one here in downtown Portland. What paves the way for these moves is in Washington and Oregon also share some of the same landlords. The Western Division in retail is all connected. A lot of the landlords own properties in multiple states in the Western Division. To talk about the local and the Portland real estate, the third quarter retail market report shows a vacancy of about 6.5%. Let me find my page. Vacancies we have seen stabilizing. Rents have stabilized. This chart shows the trends in our market up to third quarter 2012. In the fourth quarter, it does show a negative absorption, but next year I do forecast, with the absorption of a lot of downtown retail space and other box spaces, that we will have a positive absorption. It's important to know that we are not alone here in Oregon. Even though the rest of the U.S. sometimes thinks we don't exist, we do exist. And I hope you're not bored with my top-down approach or anything I'm saying, but I felt it was important to address the bigger picture before touching on the current conditions. Our economic expansion is still intact, but remains at risk with slowly recovering unemployment rate. As the housing market begins to come back, we still have a risk of a slow recovery because of our unemployment rate. As the housing market does come back and our employment rate changes, we should have a better yield on real estate. The regional retail market saw a slight improvement, and as our vacancy is only at 6.82%, and it's hovered at 7% for the past few years, slow growth continues to be the trend. Oregon kind of has a catch-22. You approach retail, real estate, retailers love it, consumers love it because we have no sales tax. But landlords and developers find it as a catch-22 because they have a problem developing properties because the state and the city do not get sales tax income. So, the demand in retailers in Oregon is changing. And the local downtown market is changing. As you see on this slide, Apple has proposed to have a new store in downtown Portland. Their existing store was proposed to do about $60 million a year. The new store is double the size and is rumored to be able to do about $100 million a year. That's more than the building across the street with more than one retailer. Also, we have a yard house that will open in 12,000 square feet behind the Apple store with over 100 beers on tap. We have a downtown Target, which is what is our first urban Target that'll change the landscape of downtown. In Portland, we also have the Jansen Beach Supercenter that'll be done with construction in 2013. And CenterCal is working on a project that is rumored to have a Cabela's and a local grocery store to anchor the project. It's a very exciting time to be working in the retail industry. It's so exciting you never know what you're going to see the next day. Although we have obstacles to overcome nationally and globally, Oregon is attracting national retailers and local retailers. And real estate developers are excited about what we have to overcome over the next few years. So what can we expect in 2013? Well, I feel there will be little changes to lease rates on B and C class properties that are recovering tenants were able to leave those centers and upgrade to an A class center for the rates they were paying 5 years ago. Tenant demand will increase in 2013. As we were looking at it in 2012, it wasn't as much activity. But a lot of them didn't pull the trigger on their opportunities that they did have, except for those that were well capitalized, like Walmart and the discount retailers. Local retailers will continue to expand, and our market will continue to grow. The main thing we need to focus on is employment growth and income. And those things will translate to helping retailers grow and making everybody successful. And I thank you for this, and on someone else's slide.